Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to match 2 as Omega is set to take on the Great Muta.
Yes, interesting matchup here. Kenny desperate for a win. Great Muta was not on last week's show. Will he have some ring rust? Hopefully not. Should be. Two athletes really going at it for a win.
That is true. Muta had a 2-week absence as he suffered a minor injury, but should be 100% tonight.
There's the machine there, Kenny Omega.
The cleaner of wrestling. Can he shake off the cobwebs?
Bang. And of course, from the West Hills of Inaguchi, it's a mystery to most.
A mystery of the Orient.
Just an impressive athlete.
And now the action begins.
This Muta's movement is unsettling. You never quite know which angle he's going to devastate you from.
He is certainly one of the most unorthodox specimens I have ever come across. But Omega is very adaptable. Whether he can adapt in this situation, I am unsure.
He's adaptable. He's very resourceful.
Exactly.
He's an apex predator. Great stamina.
Well, I know last week we had referenced Ric Flair as one of the dirtiest players in the game. Just wait until you see Muta, my friend, because in TCW action, he is very good at finding...
Well, there he is. He's already getting the baseball bat. And he hits him with it.
To no surprise.
Goes for it again, drops it. The ref must not have seen it.
He only has to the count of 5 with the weapon. And then he would have been disqualified had he held on to it for that extra nanosecond.
My goodness, unfazed though, Kenny, just going about his day, going about his business.
You know, a man like Omega, you're the champ in NGPW. You face many people from every walk of life. But Muta, he is a rare specimen. And, you know, I can't put him over enough. Very unorthodox. I don't think Omega has faced a style quite like Muta's.
Yeah, it has to be one of the hardest wrestlers to prepare for. Just so unique in the ring.
And
oh my God!
No disrespect to his style whatsoever. He might resort to some underhanded tactics, but his striking is among the best in TCW. While as I say that, Omega hits his own strike. But his kicks can take a chicken's head off. And if that sounds like I'm exaggerating, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. That's why they call him the Buzzsaw.
I've seen him grab the wings off a fly mid-flight. A little Aussie salute.
He seems to have a...
right in front of our desk here.
A full artillery of weapons. And
oh my God, he has the fork!
He has some type of foreign object.
Oh, he got it! My God, they're right in front of us.
And they are getting awfully close to the count of 20.
Got sweat all over me sheets here. And there it is again.
And now it looks as though there is bloodshed in the ring.
Oh, crimson mask.
What effect is that going to have on Omega? Will it affect his sight, his spirit?
Oh, it gets all in his eyes.
You know, some people they can hit an extra gear after seeing blood, and others are entirely intimidated by the prospect. Omega's grizzled though. I'm not sure how much effect it would have on him. He is one to keep his emotions in check.
Oh, now Muta almost wearing out his opponent there.
Unable to hit the maneuver that he had intended though.
Muta, maybe not the smartest wrestler, but definitely inflicts the most damage.
He's very brutal, definitely brutal. hardcore, some would say. I mean, he has a full artillery of weaponry here and connects with that spinning back kick.
Kenny's just has to rely on his training at the dojo. Can't let Muta get him out of his element here.
It must be said too, and while Omega is still in his active competition, would be considered legends of New Japan Pro Wrestling, at least in my humble opinion.
You can't escape.
Different eras, though, so to speak. Muta
Oh, the
inflicts...
athleticism.
Wow, that was nearly it.
Muta sensing danger, trying to back away from his opponent. Waits for him to make a mistake.
There's a rope break there. Muta has a flashy style of his own, at least from what I've seen, despite his brutal ulterior.
Yes.
Yes, his exterior rather. You know, you see his brutality early on, but you know, he is one of the innovators of the moonsault, or at least one of the masters of the moonsault.
And of course he has the miss,
Man,
but again,
he
mentally
knocked himself
not sure
down.
where he's at.
He's unstable, ladies and gentlemen. And that would be an understatement.
Inflicting pain on others isn't enough, he has to do it to himself.
As a type of sadomasochist, one might say.
Kenny warming up the arm.
Do you think that he has taken Kenny out of his strategy early on here?
Well, the fact that he's busting him open very well could have gotten Kenny's head out of the game,
You can't escape.
but it has been all Kenny. He's battling through it quite nicely.
Well, he is
That is,
definitely
doesn't quite hit with the miss.
in that signature elbow by Muta. And now he's going to go for a pile driver, a jumping sit-out pile driver.
Oh, nicely played by Kenny.
You can tell these guys have each other scouted, but Muta too close to the ropes there.
It's really been a tale of Muta
And I
not
believe
having ring presence.
he's biting the forehead of the bleeding Muta. That is ill-advised. And he's getting that blood in there. Maybe he likes the taste of blood, I'm not sure.
It's like a shark in that way.
Shark in the water.
Oh my, twisting sit-down powerbomb. Oh,
And-
almost enough.
Nearly gets it there.
Muta has to be sensing it. That's the second near fall Kenny's been able to get.
And look at that chain of action. And he lands the mist and nearly that kick behind it. He wouldn't have seen it coming.
Oh, but that Cherokee stand suplex able to combat the great Muta.
I think it was more of a brain buster than a suplex, if I could be mistaken. But it seemed to land the majority of his weight on his head and neck, which, if he can land the one-winged angel, will pay dividends.
Hits him with 3 to 4 elbows there. Just the quickness.
More missed.
But Kenny able to combat it yet again.
It looked like a butterfly pile driver, but Muta pops right back up. Hits a pile driver of his own.
Devastating maneuver.
More missed for you, mister. And Omega, he has had to battle through
my.
adversity as he hits a Frankensteiner. Is he going to go for the one-winged angel? No, he can't land it.
The crowd, you hear the roar of the crowd. They're loving this.
You can't escape.
Despite the dirty tactics of Muta, he is certainly a fan favorite, and the same can be said for Omega as well. Minus the whole dirty tactics bit. Omega usually plays it clean.
And there it is. There's the taunt. He's setting them up here now.
This
Very
should
well
be
done.
it. And
Oh,
it
the great
is.
Muta.
Omega unable to bounce back, but Muta is after his 2-week absence, and a marquee victory over Omega for sure.
An outstanding match by two very hungry competitors.
I hope you enjoyed the action, ladies and gentlemen. We have another match upcoming, and I hope that you stay tuned for that.